folks. I'm going to get to your phone calls after I get into the census and play this report with Mark Dice and John Bound from just a few days ago. There on the Southern California coast outside Los Angeles. Just amazing information. But I want to stop something right here. Federal law and the Constitution says that every 10 years, and it goes back to Leviticus in the Old Testament, the people are to be numbered for congressional apportionment. For congressional apportionment, because your state, according to how many people you have in it, your state, according to how many people live in it, gets that number of House of Representative members. That is done via population, but then also then the state gets 2 senators. But the idea was the legislature would then elect the senators, so they were purely creatures of the states. The 17th Amendment got rid of that. Now, what's happening is they're trying to pass cybersecurity that makes employees indentured servants of the government. Managers in IT will have to spy on everyone and demand the username and passcodes to the Facebooks, everything, to give to Homeland Security. Any IT company that gives any type of service to 100 or more people, that means if you have a website with 100 visitors, you will have to go get federal licensing and training on how to be a Homeland Security spy. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. Now, why do I raise that in conjunction with the census? In 2000, we did reports on this. I had them come to my house in a little, blue-collar area of Austin, and the guy would park in the middle of the street, and he'd come to my door, and he'd say, listen, we're going to have you arrested if you don't fill out this form. And I said, good, have me arrested. And I would go to close the door, and the guy actually stuck his foot in, and I opened the door up, and I said, okay, buddy. I said, if you trespass in here, I'm going to defend myself, and I'm calling the police right now. And it was a zit-faced, like 20, nothing as funny as zit-faced. It was a zit-faced 20-year-old guy on a power trip with his plastic badge. And I said, you're violating my 5th Amendment and my 4th Amendment. And he goes, it's the law. And I said, let me see that form you're bringing again. This is like the other 4 you've brought. And by then my wife, girlfriend at the time, came up with the video camera. We have this tape somewhere at about that point. I go, you see here? It says the U.S. code that's off the law. Above it says how many people live here and what are their names. That's what you can say under the Constitution. That's what you can ask. That's fraud. That's constructive fraud. And he goes, that's not true. They'd have told me that. And I said, you take your thing, and I'm not filling any of it out. The whole thing's a fraud. I go, go arrest me. Because I'd gone and looked up the federal rulings against the census as a 5th Amendment violation. It violates a bunch of other issues. And here's the worst part. On these new census, they said in 2000, as I really got into it then, listeners remember that, they said after 2010, you will be given yearly censuses, and by 2015, monthly censuses. And they were already testing them then. I happened to get the community survey that had 50-something questions. What's my toilet? Do I own guns? When do I go to work? What are my stocks and bonds? Under penalty of perjury. Document cam shot, please, for TV viewers. They come to our office yesterday, or this is a couple days ago. I was told about it yesterday. And have Jakari Jackson sign for this, registered mail saying your response is required by law. Your response. They've expanded the fraud. This is a business yearly survey, and they already know everything about us in the deal. It's already with the IRS. By the way, that violates your 5th Amendment. That's paid to the private Federal Reserve, but that's an established criminal tyranny where they will still come after you, and so that's a battle we've already lost for now. Doesn't run the country, all goes to offshore banks on record. Ronald Reagan's own commission found that. Quote, not 1 red cent goes to fund the country. You're like, how we build the country? We didn't have the income tax until 1913, and no one even had to pay it until the 1940s. It was a temporary war tax for the boys. Oh, my God. Most of it paid to German banks that created Hitler. I mean, you cannot make this up. Now, just like the General Motors Opel factories, the bombers weren't allowed to bomb them. There was riots at Army Air Corps bases about that. People are like, we're dying, and we're not allowed to bomb the real factories. Building tanks and aircraft. See, that's traitor talk. That's traitor talk. Now, look at this. Total violation of your 5th Amendment. And listen, here's the deal. Even if you don't think that because you're ignorant, it says under penalty of perjury, felonies if any of it's wrong. These crooks We'll say that's what the IRS does. It's Money Magazine, Forbes, they've all done this. You go to 30 different, 40 different, 50 different, they've done different things. Different CPAs, you are going to get different answers on every one of them. Because it's all written where the big mega banks are exempt. It's all selectively enforced. You can't put $10,000 in a Swiss bank after tax. They'll arrest you, even if it's your money. You can't fly out of the country with 10 silver coins. But if you're a globalist, you're tax exempt. Now, look at this. Look at this. It says, and fraudulently, you know, that I'll be fined $10,000 if I don't do this within 10 days. Well, you know what? I'm not doing it, you crooks. You dirty crooks. I don't care if you're a bunch of fluoride head zombies that you know, go, we're allowed to do this. Yeah. Next, it's going to be monthly surveys. All I'm going to do is sit around filling out stuff. And you know how much it'll cost me with my accountants already complying with the Federal Reserve's IRS that gives illegal aliens fake IDs and lets them steal money and all this crap? I mean, it's just all a bunch of lawless, drug-dealing, murdering government. I've had it with you. I see you. I know who you are, filth, and I know the law. Judges have ruled in 2001 and others where census people bust in houses, come across property, get in fights with people, rape women. Because imagine the freaks. I had one try to force their way in my house, and I opened the door and I said, you just stuck your foot in my door. I mean, and the cops want to do it all. This country is so gone until we realize that there's no future. Look at this. Look at this. Failure to fill it out, $10,000 fines, and then, and of course, it's not even a law. It's all fraud. And then look at this thing. Everything about us, stocks, bonds, officers and companies, blah, 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 everything about my employees. I mean, and every bit of inventory. And if one bit of it's wrong, I'm arrested. You know what? I'm going to write Fifth Amendment all over this. I'm going to write Fifth Amendment all over it, and I'm going to send it back to you. And they're going to make us do this monthly now. Imagine. Imagine. And these people do nothing all day but sit there and spy on us for the foreign banks that have occupied this country. This is a foreign agency now. This is a seized country. They're like, well, we do this to help you. You got to help know how to shut down the businesses quicker, how to ship them overseas, how to find small businesses to harass. Your job under Agenda 21 is to destroy America, to get everybody on welfare. It's all on record. Finished goods, work in progress, material supplies, total inventories, LIFO reserve, if any. Every business in the country is getting these. Total inventories. Post-production services, film, video, digital media, motion picture, film processing laboratory. Hey, dumbasses, people don't use film anymore. Author, writer, or composer. Audio, post-production. We get letters now going, hey, this is the state of California. Who's this IT company you use? We're going to create a nexus and charge you sales tax off of it. And it's not even a law. It's just crooks. Talent payment services, actors or actresses, page after page after page after page after page, and we'll arrest you if you don't do it. We'll arrest you if any of it's wrong. Broadcast or exhibit features, rent future films, license or domestic rights exhibit, motion picture, television program, other. I just got an FCC notice that we're not providing on our broadcast TV closed captioning, even though it's on our YouTube channel. They're now saying footage that we shoot is broadcast TV. They have no jurisdiction. I went and read the law. But they're saying they're going to fine me. Good, I'll go to court with you too, you little maggots. There's no amount of money you can get out of America to keep the country up. It's designed to implode, you idiots. And by the way, you're going to lose everything you've got, New World Order. All of you minions. So, Fifth Amendment violation, it's totally criminal. They now say you've got to have a license to have a church. Ever read the First Amendment? Congress shall make no law respecting an established religion, particularly as thereof? You know any of that stuff? No, a bunch of sheep that do whatever they're told. So now the cops are going to come in your house without a warrant. Now they're going to take your bank account. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Take a look out your window there. There's a scene you ought to catch. It's a bunch of troops coming to everybody's house telling them they're all suspects. One person does something wrong in your city, you're a suspect. Unless you're the government, then you're an exempt from everything because you're the god. USA, USA, take my rights. USA, USA, we got the CIA-trained bomber. We're doing good now. And, you know, we spent half our time filling stuff out to the IRS, the collection agency for the Federal Reserve, so it can set everybody up and get penalties and interest. It's all designed like the mafia, where they come after you and throw you in one of their big giant prisons. And now they want you to fill out monthly reports to them with the census. When the law says every 10 years and how many people live here and what's their names. Number the people, Leviticus. This isn't numbering the people. I mean, why don't I just full-time do bookkeeping for the Department of Commerce? Bunch of criminals. Let's go ahead. And they're like, no, it's a conspiracy theory. We don't have statutory authority. And we're allowed to arrest any citizen we want and kill him. Because America's a free country, huh? And we're #1, USA, USA. Dawn in Kentucky, you're on the air. USA, USA. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how are you doing? I want to say thank you for telling people to grow their gardens. That's
USA, USA, you need a license to have a garden. That's good. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
After that Mark Dice piece, I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Now he walks right up and goes, we're going to have the Nazis take over and put everybody in a prison camp. They're like, oh, excellent. Oh, wow.
We signed a petition.
Yeah. FEMA cabs. Yeah, it's freedom.
People are waking up every day, though, thanks to you.
Rand Paul says have the drones kill people in America. Yay!
USA! USA!
I'm sorry. I'm starting to get into this. I'm going to inject USA. Go ahead. Look at Rachel Maddow. I was a handsome guy. I mean, I'm not into guys, but I'm telling you. Hey, that's pretty handsome. Hey, check this out right here. They put Mr. Maddow up on screen. Kind of got a crush on her. Anyways, hold on. I'm going to inject USA. I'm sorry. It's a hell of a drug. I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead. What were you calling it about? I didn't mean to talk about my crush on Mr. Maddow.
My daughter has not got my grandchildren vaccines, and a lot of it's due to your show, and I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you, ma'am. You know, the inserts say it can kill your kid, but that's a conspiracy. Don't read the insert.
Yeah, that's what they tell her, and she's like, no.
All you got to do is say USA, USA. What if a cop pulled you over and you said USA, USA? They'd go, code accessed, I must worship you, USA, 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 USA. While people are just lined up, if they put up big giant microwave ovens, and you saw people being fried in them, like 50 feet tall, 100 feet deep, and they played USA like mosquitoes to a bug zapper, the average citizen would just march like a zombie into it, and oh, USA. They would like put their baby in the microwave and go, USA, USA. I'm sorry. USA! Sorry, ma'am. Go ahead. Anything else about USA today?
No, I just want to say thanks, Alex.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, ma'am. God bless you. They just put Hillary on screen. There's only one woman, I think, more beautiful than Rachel Maddow, and that's Hillary Clinton. Can you imagine running your hands through her hair? Can you imagine, like, the smell of dead meat coming out of her mouth? It'd be like finding a dead horse had been dead for a week out in some field and just rolling all over it. I mean, you know Hillary Clinton stinks. Can you imagine? I bet she smells like a dead horse.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson.
Danger, don't get near her. I mean, can you imagine? This is like the stench. She's probably got hair on her chest. Continuously all the way down into her pants.
Looks like they're doing cavity searches on that family. Well, that's what we do in USA. I mean, we wouldn't be free if they didn't ship the drugs in and give us deadly shots. Then I might have an IQ high enough to understand what's happening. Gee, ain't that the way it is, boss? You know. Yeah.
They had some police captain on the news in a press conference last night that I thought was like a joke. He looked like, well, I don't know, like what had happened to him. He was like going, yeah, symbolically let us put the cuffs on him. And you know, the people have thanked us for what we did. And we did this was a terrorist. I almost taped it, but it'd been mean to play it. And you got the other cops standing there all smug, narcissistically getting off on the press, just going, this press conference can go for 10 hours if you wanted to. It makes me go crazy how nutty these people are, man. It's just going to get crazier and crazier. I kind of gotten out of control. I apologize. Tom in South America wants to talk about Homeland Security. I mean, could they pick a more Orwellian-sounding thing? Go ahead, Tom. You're on the air. You want to play a USA for you?
I'd rather have the Republic. The other night, I had supper with a guy, and I said, "Where do you live?" Bellingham, Washington. I said, "What do you do?" Well, we have 7 rental properties, apartments and houses, and we've lost all of them except the last 2. We've been living in foreclosure for almost 2 years. He says, "I retire in 5 months." I said, "Oh, where do you work?" He says, "I work for Homeland Security." I said, "Oh, Homeland Security." I said, he says, "Yeah, I'm one of the oldest ones there." He said, "Now they only hire 35 and younger." But when 9/11 happened, they needed literally thousands of people, so they just hired people like crazy. And he said, I got in. Anyway, I said, my friend says, you guys got hollow points. He said, we have pellets and pellets. We have many, many pellets of hollow points. And he said, we go to the range. He said, when I started during 9/11, we'd go to the range every 3 weeks, and we were trained just to do a warning shot in the air. And then it changed to a wound shot, arm or leg. And
now they train to shoot children. Mm-hmm.
Now they shoot to kill.
That calls for a USA. That calls. USA! Sorry, go ahead. They can actually play that on loudspeakers when they mow our families down in big pits and wear little commie uniforms and run around giving high fives. With the big posters of Michelle Maddow everywhere. My boyfriend. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can see that there's a real disconnect between a need-to-know basis, because the guy doesn't have a clue why he lost his houses and his real estate. He doesn't. Oh no!
Under mirrors, they're taking houses that are totally paid for in cash 20 years ago. Why not? USA! 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 The absurdity of this. People signing petitions to put America under Nazi Germany because they go, "Is that government? Oh, damn right, I want that." I'm sorry, sir. Why were you talking to this guy? Are you a consultant or something?
Well, no, he actually is going to move down here. As soon as he retires in 5 months, he's moving.
Oh, so he's helped wreck America, and now he's moving on. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That exactly makes sense. The other heads up is for the last 6 months, I've watched. This country is dollarized, so they have the U.S. dollar here, Ecuador, and we've watched the U.S. dollar, the $100 bills disappear. And so about a month ago, we tried to get a fair amount of exchange, and all they'd give us is $20 bills or $10 bills. So I asked the banks, I said, where are the $100 bills? He said, there aren't any. And now I just heard yesterday that in October they're going to introduce a brand new $100 bill. And as
Hey, so let's end this with a USA. That sounds great. Hyperinflation. USA. Yeah! Get rid of the Bill of Rights. Oh, yeah! Get to freedom. USA! 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 Hail Big Sis! Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.